Hi guys, today we're going to talk about our third lesson in Unit 1, which is dimensional analysis. What is dimensional analysis? Dimensional analysis is a technique used to convert units. You need to use your reference sheet when you use dimensional analysis. Your reference sheet is going to look like this, which is part of the reference sheet that you're going to get at the end of the year during your Regents exam test. Now let's use dimensional analysis to solve our first problem. How many miles will a person run during a 10-kilometer race? So in this problem we have 10 kilometer and we have to change 10 kilometer into miles. So the first step is to look at the reference sheet to find out if we can find a piece of information that can help us do or write down a conversion ratio. So looking at the reference sheet, we can see that we can use 1 kilometer equals to 0.62 mile to write the conversion ratio. Going back to our problem, we can write down the ratio by making sure that the bottom part of the ratio, or the denominator, includes the same unit that we have at the top. That means that the bottom of the ratio should include kilometer, and the other piece of information that we have from the reference sheet is going to be at the top of the ratio. This will help us cancel the units. Kilometer cancel with kilometer, and we end up with 1 unit, which is mile. This is what we want, so all we need to do now is to multiply 10 times 0.62 is going to be equal to 6.2 miles. Let's take a look at our second example, where we have 25 yards and we need to find out the number of feet in 25 yards. So the first piece of information that we have in this question is 25 yards, and we need to change yards into feet. Again, first step is to look at the reference sheet and look at one piece of information that can help us convert yards into feet. So in this situation, we have these two facts that we can use to change yards into feet. The first one is 1 mile equal to 5,280 feet, and the second fact is 1 mile equal to 1,760 yards. So to write down conversion ratios, what we need to do is to go back, write the first conversion ratio with yard at the bottom, or the denominator of the ratio, and then based on the information that we got from the reference sheet, 1 mile is equal to 1,760. This will not be enough because we are trying to change miles into feet, which means we're going to have to write a second ratio, and in this case we're going to include the information that we got here, which is 1 mile equal to 5,280 feet. So we're going back, we're writing down a second conversion ratio, which includes the mile at the denominator of the ratio and the feet at the top of the ratio. This will help us cancel the units because yard and yard cancel each other, mile and mile cancel each other, and we end up with 1 unit only in feet. And all we need to do is to multiply the numbers. 25 times 5,280 and 1,760 times 1. And the final answer is going to be 75 feet. Example 3. How many cups are there in 10 gallons? In this situation, we need to change 10 gallons to cups. And again, we will go back to the reference sheet to help us identify facts that we can use to do unit conversion. So in this situation, we start with gallon, and looking at the reference sheet, we don't have a fact that help us convert gallon into cups directly, but we have facts that can help us change gallon to quarts, quarts to pints, and then pint to cup. So we're going to use these 3 facts to write 3 different conversion ratios. Going back to our problem, the first ratio is going to be 1 gallon, and in the reference sheet we saw that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. The second ratio is going to be 1 quart to pints, and quart has to be at the bottom of the ratio. Third ratio is going to change pint into a cup. And we're done. Gallon can be canceled with gallon, quart with quart, pint with pint, and we end up with 1 unit only, which is cups. By multiplying the numbers, we can get 10 times 4 times 2 times 2, which is 160 cups.